Okay, so Premiere has analyzed and then stabilized the image. So if we were to play it now, we could play it on the timeline here, and it should not shake as much as it did before. It looks pretty good actually, doesn't it? And what we could do now, if we did want to change the speed, I would suggest exporting this clip as is and calling it the same name with the word stabilized added to it. However, since we don't really need to do that in our case, I'm going to leave it on the timeline and play with it a little bit more. I want to talk to you a little bit about the options for this clip, and I'm actually going to make it smaller so that it fits inside my window nicely. Perhaps I could even go to 75%. And now I'm going to add an option for, just happens to be a project I'm working on, and that is to mirror this image. And I can look at in the search panel of the effects and say mirror, and you see it's under distort also. And I am going to add that to this clip. And you see the way to control this is to say, do we want the reflection angle to be, well, first of all, if I just pull this reflection center in, it's going to be a horizontal, the mirror is going to happen left to right. So you have to decide if you want that. It could be interesting. In fact, it could be really interesting if we changed this over time. And the way we would do that would be to click the stopwatch, right? And then say by the time we reach the middle of the clip, we want the reflection center to be over here, right? And then by the time we reach the end of the clip, we want it to be back over at the end or off. And now we could basically sort of scrub through this to see what that would look like. Okay, so that's one option. However, if we wanted to, we could also change the angle of the reflection. And if we go 90 degrees, you'll see that we are able to actually turn the mirror image into a horizontal move. And this can be very interesting. It can be kind of like breathing. Here we have the sky on both sides of this, which I actually find more interesting than the land. But you could, of course, change the reflection angle and let me see if I can do that, so that it's the land that's being challenged here if it's at 270, right? So actually we have two aspects going on here. We have the reflection center changing, and we have the horizontal versus vertical happening. So that's just one effect that you can play with.